Hello everyone, Mixfant Gaming here. Welcome to my channel. Today we're back here in Mech Arena and we have been given access again to the test server. And this time around, we have some new things in here. So we actually have the Cryo Javelin 6's that have been given us to try. We also have two of the items that many of us have been waiting for. We have the Missile Rack 12s as well as the Javelin Rack 8's. So I'm going to try and do a video at least on each one of these, try to highlight them. So for today's video, we're going to try and start with the Javelin Rack 8's on the kill shot and see how they perform. So hopefully everything will go okay. I'm using an older device because unfortunately the test server application cannot run on the same device as the live server. It's a little bit of disappointing. I really would prefer to have it on my main device. This one's older. I notice sometimes, not just in Mech Arena, but in other games as well, or anything I try to do this device. Sometimes my screen presses don't get activated. I press a screen and nothing happens. So if you see, for instance, my mech stop moving all of a sudden, or if you hear me complaining about trying to push the fire button and nothing's happening, well, you know that's what it is. But hopefully we'll have at least a decent idea of the strength of these weapons. As for the Missile Rack 8's, the Javelin 8's, since that's what we're looking at here, you'll see that's roughly 11,500 damage in a magazine. The fire rate, I think, is pretty much the same as the Javelin Rack 6's. So with that being said, I'm actually just going to pause out here, and I'm going to go in and level up the Javelin 6's just so we can compare the difference in the stats. So just bear with me for a moment. All right, so I'm back. I've now gone through the process. I've leveled up my Javelin 6's all the way to the max so we can compare. So as just a reminder here, the Javelin 8's, as I said, there were 11,500 roughly on the damage. And reload speed is 9 seconds. Optimum range is the same, I know, as the regular Javelin 6's. Max range is the same. Damage radius medium. Double damage chance 30%. The power of 70. So if we go back into here and we look at the Javelin 6's, we have almost 2,000 damage more. I mean 1,800 if we're being exact. Damage more on the Javelin 8's than the Javelin 6's. So looking at here, the reload speed is actually shorter on the Javelin 8's. The ranges are the same, the medium radius. Double damage chance is the same. And the power was 70 on the Javelin 8's. The power is only 52 here on the Javelin 6's. So it should behave the same way, just basically do more damage. And with a slightly smaller reload speed. I'm actually surprised that the reload speed is a little bit shorter than the Javelin 6's. So that being said, let's hop into a game here and let's try to get some decent footage of the Javelin 8's. All right, here we go. Let's see how this performs. We're going to start with the kill shot, of course. Let's go on down here. Let's get a control point. And we'll go on over to the right-hand side. Grab that and try to throw these javelins around the corner. Capture this. All right, now let's see what these things can do. Need somebody to get in range. Okay, so they're all sitting up there right now. Okay, somebody's come down there now. Let's lock on, fire these. I say that did some pretty decent damage. Somebody coming up to this side. See if I can get in range. Yeah, of course. AIs always target the real player, even though there's two other guys sitting there. Even on the test server, the AIs suck. Alright, so just my device, everything just keeps stopping on me. Damn, okay, that hurt. Alright, so let's go on up here. This guy has a shield up here. At least he did. I'm not sure where he is. Oh, there he is. All right, so let's see how this performs, hopefully, against a shield. You know, I'll have to admit, I prefer the visuals of the Javelin 6 launching over the Javelin 8's. So let's get this guy down here. See, it seems like it's only one single Javelin that's going on the Javelin 8, whereas the 6's, they throw multiple Javelins in there. See, look, it's just like 1, 2. Get him. Damn, that hurt. Okay, well, I do like these. They definitely do a heck of a lot of damage. Oh, come on. Oh, shoot. I actually thought one of those was going to take the shield down. Get that over there. Okay, got him. Yeah, no, I don't like the idea that it's only one Javelin that goes. I would have thought like a Javelin 8 might have had, you know, maybe 8 Javelins in total. I think the 6's have... I thought it was like 3 in each mag that got released, so in total there was 6. So I thought maybe the Javelin 8's would be like 4 in each mag, but I guess that's not the case. Ooh, somebody's over there. Him taken care of. I don't know what that guy even is, but took over 3/4 of his damage in one single Javelin hit. It's just one single Javelin volley. It needs to be more. That's just my opinion. It's just the visuals, and I don't think that'll hit him there. See, with the Javelin 6's, you could have maybe like that shouldn't hit. 1 or 2 like maybe miss, but you could still hit them with like a third of the volley. But this one, if you miss with one, you're done. Okay. Oh, you gotta be joking. Oh, 8's. Where are you?
Victory imminent.
I only have a sliver of health. Oh, there he is. So get him. Go back. Let's play it a little bit more careful because I want to get some more footage of this. Oh, somebody's down. Where'd he go? Oh, he's right there. No, he's around the corner too much. I go on up here, and I lost target on him, of course. Can I get him? Oh, I got somebody anyways. It wasn't the guy I was aiming at, but... Alright, so, he's coming around the corner, or is he? I don't know. Let's see if I can get him with just one volley. No. Okay. So he's coming around this way. So then was around the corner, got him. I do like these. If I can get them, I definitely will put them in my hangar. But, one single Javelin on each. I don't know, just from a visual standpoint, I know from the weapon, you look at them right there, it only shows one Javelin on each of them, but I don't know. I wish they would at least throw a couple on each weapon. Just visually, it looks a lot more better than just have one single rocket going, whereas all the other ones have more than one rocket. I think Javelin 4s have a couple that go. Javelin 6s definitely have more than one that go. But, you know, that I'm being picky, of course. It's just a visual thing, but it's just a preference of mine. But as for the weapon itself, they do a decent amount of damage. Well, everybody, time for my review. I'm actually redoing my review from when I first recorded this because something else occurred to me. And as we were talking about in the game, I mentioned about the magazine, the clip size, etc., that the Javelin 8's only had the one rocket. Now, that got me thinking, and I really should have included in this beforehand. If you look at the Javelin 8's, as we can see, the magazine is only one, so each one of them only fires one rocket. We look at the double damage chance, or what I call the critical chance. That's a 30%. That's the same on the Javelin 6's. However, there is a difference between the two, and that's because of the magazine size. So if you look at the Javelin 6s, let's go on up here. Let's look at the weapon. You'll see the magazine size is 6. So that means that while it still has the same double damage chance of 30%, that's 30% on each individual rocket that's fired. So technically, this could hit that critical chance up to 6 times on a single salvo. Whereas the Javelin 8's, you got that one single chance at 30%. So that means if you look at the math and you look up here at the damage per shot, it's 1,600. It was roughly about I think, what was it? It was 9,700 here for the total damage. For the Javelin 8's, it's 11,400. So taking that into consideration, you're looking at about, I think it said it was like 17 or 1,800 damage difference between the two. Well, if you do a double damage on one single rocket in your magazine size, that goes from up here, where is it, 1,600 to 3,200 damage. That 1,600 on one single salvo, one single rocket in the Javelin 6 can make up the damage difference between the Javelin 6s and the Javelin 8s at the same level. So that means on paper, if you hit 2 critical chances on your Javelin 6s and you don't hit a critical chance on the Javelin 8s, the Javelin 6s will do more damage. As I said, you have up to 6 times to get a critical shot on your Javelin 6s. If you have 2 of the Javelins equipped, you have up to 12 times to hit that critical chance. Whereas dual Javelin 8s, you only have the 2 chances because it's 1 rocket per magazine. So is it worthwhile for somebody to invest the resources into the Javelin 8s, considering on paper, probably on average, taking in consideration the chances of getting the double damage, you might actually be better off sticking with the Javelin 6s. Javelin 8's base damage is great if you don't hit if you're not hitting critical shots. But the chances of not hitting a critical shot or 2 with the Javelin 6s in a salvo is relatively slim. You have 30% per shot in each salvo. So I don't know now if I'm going to be investing in the Javelin 8s. I was really looking forward to them, but because the Javelin 8s, the mechanics are slightly different than the Javelin 6s and the 4s, in the end, you might actually have a reduced damage output than you do with the Javelin 6s. What I would have liked to have seen is if they had made the Javelin 8s exactly the same as the Javelin 6s, so you have a 6 magazine capacity. That way the critical chance is the same. It's just each individual rocket does slightly more damage. I'm not talking about a huge amount. You could still, use that 1,700 or so total power as a guide. So if you're looking at 1,700, maybe about 250 or so more damage per rocket in a magazine. And that would get you up to about, 1,500 or so power. So it might be maybe a little bit more than that. But anyways, you know what I'm talking about. I think that would have been a lot more appealing to people. I know there's going to be people out there who's just going to go out and get Javelin 8s and upgrade them and think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. But now that I've played with them, I like them. It'd be a little bit more of use case to try to get to understand that it's only one single rocket, and so you want to make sure that you actually can hit the target. Whereas the Javelin 6s were a little bit more forgiving. If something was just behind the cover, you might be able to hit them with 1 or 2 in your salvo. You wouldn't necessarily hit them with everything, but one of them might sneak through. Whereas the Javelin 8s, you have to make sure you are going to hit your target. But that critical chance really, it's really disappointing to see it on paper with the math drawn out. So just be cautious. If you decide you want to go with the Javelin 8s, you might be reducing your critical chance and therefore your overall output on damage compared with the Javelin 6s. Again, this is a test server. The numbers we see in here, I want to highlight, they're not set in stone. Plarium has every right to change them. But as they sit right now, I don't know if I'll be actually going for them and trying to put my resources in them. So with that being said, what are your comments on the Javelin 8s versus Javelin 6s? What do you think? Will you invest in them just because there's something new and you want something a little bit different? Do you like the mechanics of it that it's only one single Javelin versus the 6 and the salvos right now for the Javelin 6s? Are you concerned at all with the critical double damage chance of the 8s versus the 6s? Let me know your thoughts below. But I think the next video, I'm going to move over and highlight the Missile Rack 12s. So stay tuned for that. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Until next time, cause some mayhem in the field for me.